Morning, y'all. So it's Sunday, August the, is it the 4th? Yes, August the 4th. I have 1 week left in my apartment, so I'm just enjoying this Sunday morning, about to make me some cinnamon rolls. And then I decided that I was looking on Groupon this morning, because I always look on Groupon to kind of like see what new trips they have. And I'm going to take some time this morning to show y'all like how I find trips on Groupon, because people are always like, okay, but you know, how did you find that trip, or how do you book your trips in general? Because I'm always like, y'all, I don't spend a whole lot of money. I mean, I spend money, but in comparison to how much I think that sometimes if you don't know these little tricks you might spend, I think I spend less than that. So Groupon is one way that I make sure to get the best value, and I booked 4 or 5, maybe even 6 trips now from Groupon. So I just want to show y'all how it works so you can find your next trip on Groupon. Okay, so like I was saying, Groupon is a good way to find trips that come in like a bundle. So by bundle I mean you'll get your plane flight and your hotels for wherever you're staying. Sometimes you'll get the ride to and from the hotel, sometimes they're guided tours, but you can find these kind of bundles for cheap. So I have booked trips through Groupon to Thailand. I booked a trip that was like a 2-city trip from Dubai to Egypt. I also went to Cartagena and Bogota, Colombia on a Groupon trip. My next trip to Melbourne is a Groupon trip, and I'm going to Brazil in November, and that's a Groupon trip. So in total I've done 3, but I have 2 coming up, and I'm very like confident in Groupon trips. I think that they are a good value depending on where you want to go. So I wouldn't say book Groupon for everything, because sometimes you can find like cheaper trips in other ways just by booking them yourself, but depending on a place it can be a really good value. So I'm going to show y'all like one of them that I've booked and just how it breaks down. I'll just show y'all from here. So when you go to like the Groupon website, you go to travel, and then you can go to all destinations, and then it brings you to this page. So typically when I look on Groupon, I'm looking for international trips, and you can either choose those here, but they'll just bring you trips that you can find like the hotel with. And like I said, I like to book ones that are air inclusive, so it means the flight comes with them. So you would click over here to the side, air inclusive trips. All right, come on. Okay, so then when you get on this page, all of these trips will have the flight. So the price that you see here will be for whatever they say, like 7 or 10 days, and then this is the price. So right here you see Peru. They have stuff to, what is that, Panama, Jamaica, Egypt, everywhere that you can probably think of. Like this one to China, this is a really good deal. I've been looking at it for a while. $5.99 for 12 days. They have Italy and Greece. All of these different types of places. More Greece, more Panama. So sometimes you can kind of see different ones. They will be repetitive, but the reason why they're up there multiple times is because it's from multiple like companies. So companies that I've traveled with are like Friendly Planet, Gate One Travel, it's another one, I'm blanking on the name. Oh, Affordable World. So all of those are like places, well, companies that put their trips on here for cheap. So when you're looking, I like to just play around with the dates and play around with the locations that they leave from, so that you can figure out like the best values. So let me show y'all. So for example, let me see if I can find one that's pretty good. Okay, so Cartagena. So I went on this one. It was actually Cartagena and Bogota, but it's pretty much the same. This is a really good trip, y'all. So if you are thinking about something, it is cheap. So $3.49. So over here in the corner you'll have like whatever hotels you can stay at. Usually it's like a standard hotel and then a little more of an upgrade. So for example, I might click on this one. Usually when I do pick a hotel, I might Google it just to see what it's like, and then you pick your departure date. So on Groupon, depending on when you go will depend on like how much it'll cost. So it might be that the day that you want to go or that you can go, like because of vacation time or whatever, it may be a little higher. So they go in increments, maybe by $50 or $100. So if you, for example, were able to go on the date that they tell you is the cheapest, which will be October the 6th, you will click buy, and here it goes. So it brings you up to the price. So right there you see something called Groupon Select, which is an extra 10% off. I signed up for Groupon Select when I booked the Brazil trip because it's well, you get your first month free, but every month after that is $4.99, and you get 10% off of any trip that you decide to do or anything that you buy off Groupon. So it doesn't cap it at any amount. If this trip were $2,000, you would get $200 off. Right now it's $349, so you get $34 off. So I think that's a really good value if you do decide to book a trip, because it pays for itself. Like, it really does, especially if you book more than one. But definitely if you book something over like $500, it's gonna pay for itself. So let's just go back so that you can see. So that $349 doesn't mean that you can just leave from like your local airport. So for example, this one right here, that includes round trip airfare from Miami, all the airline taxes, so you won't have to pay anything else. Three nights of accommodation. This is like, I think this is the more basic one. So it has the links to the hotels. It shows, you can click, look at pictures, you can look at reviews and all of that, and decide which one you would want to do. It tells you what else it includes. So you'll get daily breakfast and a city tour of Cartagena, all these other details, and then it gives you just some general reviews. So this one is more like one where it gives you one tour in a day, but so that means that you would have to take that tour, but you have to plan other things that you want to do throughout your time there. They also have all-inclusive trips, and let me see, I have booked trips. I can't, well, I can, but it's gonna take me a second to find one that it comes with everyone. So let's just look at this one. This one might. So this is another 6-day to Amsterdam from Great One Travel, excuse me. So 4 nights. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this one gives you like optional tours that you can add on, but some of them already have tours that are already included. So like things that you can do when you get there so that you don't have to plan. But I think, you know, it could go either way. Sometimes you want to do the things that are already planned, but it's also fun to look on TripAdvisor and piece your tours or piece your trip together with different tours that you like. So I think Groupon is a excellent value. Trying to think of what else is important to share. Just make sure that you look at where it's leaving from, because like that Cartagena trip is really cheap, it's $349, but you also need to think about how you're going to get to Miami and if that is feasible. So you don't want to get a $349 trip but then the flight to Miami in itself is $349, because that would kind of bump the whole trip up to what, $700. So that might not be as good of a value as it started out with. But if you can find a trip, flight to Miami that's like $150, then it averages that out. It's like, and when I did the Cartagena trip, I turned the Miami day, I got a flight to Miami a day early, and I turned that day into like part of the trip. So you could always do something like that to kind of like make it well-rounded and make it everything that you want it to be. I think my cinnamon rolls are out the oven, so let me go check. I said out the oven, but I meant needed to come out the oven. Oh yeah, oh, they look good too. Okay, so there they go, let them cool. Okay, so like I was saying, yeah, you just got to make sure you see where it's coming from. They don't always leave from Miami. Some of them will leave from like New York, DC. So they have all the major hubs that people can get to or connect to. So I really like Groupon, and definitely when you have that Groupon Select feature built in, you can always save 10%, and it's just a great idea. So check out Groupon. If you have any questions about like making an account or figuring out if it's the best value, then definitely let me know. I love it. So I would definitely tell you if I think you could find that cheaper, or that's a good deal for what you're getting. So let me know. Look at my other videos, you know, they'll be up here or to the side. I just learned how to put those in. So yes, like, comment, subscribe, and day 4 of Vlogust is done.